Hello, dear friends. We're live. I hope you guys are having a good week. And if you're not, I really hope that it gets easier soon. Today we're going to be working on some art, just like we do every Friday. Yeah, so grab a drink, grab a snack, settle in, maybe get something to work on alongside me. That would be really awesome. And we're gonna just kind of get started here. My warm-up is going to look a little bit different because what we're doing today is we're doing a Studio Ghibli landscape study. I've picked a screen cap from My Neighbor Totoro, and I'm going to do my best to replicate it, and the goal of this is not to work in my style, it's to work more in Miyazaki's style. So I'm going to try to do my best to learn from how Miyazaki constructs landscapes and constructs like his composition and everything. So I will be tracing some, and I'll explain why I'm doing that, and how I'm doing that. And I will likely be color picking because I want to learn what the colors are that I'm actually looking at and be accurate. Etc, etc, etc. So yeah, because I really struggle with landscapes. It's something that I often avoid. I don't really enjoy doing them. I think partially because I don't understand them and I do find them boring, but I think that's because I just haven't figured out a process yet that's enjoyable for me. So I'm trying to force myself to learn this skill. It is a skill. It's something that I'm not familiar with. I avoid it a lot, like I said. Landscapes, backgrounds, etc. And it's a bad art habit to just be lazy with it and put my characters on blank backgrounds and blocky shapes. So it's something that I really want to improve in. I'm trying to make peace with the idea that I may make bad art today in front of everybody. But I'm trying to be chill about it. I'm trying to be cool about it. But don't be surprised if this does not turn out well. I don't have high expectations for myself, and I'm trying to not have high expectations for myself. We're here to have fun, and we're here to learn. So yeah, the last time I did this, we did Bob Ross, and we just followed along, and that was nice because I had instruction, and Bob was guiding me. Today, we're just going to be following my usual study process, but when I normally do studies, it's a faces. So we'll see. I'm going to essentially be applying the same rules to how I study faces before I start breaking them down and trying to fit them into my own style. Hopefully that's going to work. So the first thing that I'm going to do, and this is kind of part of my warm-up, is I'm going to pick some sort of neon color over here that I'm going to see really easily. I think I'm going to go with like a neon blue because I think there's so much green in this painting that I think if I pick like a neon green, hello! I'm going to just get lost. So the first thing I'm going to do, because this is a study, is I'm going to trace out basic shapes, and I'm going to do it directly on my reference. I'm not going to trace it and then paint over it. I'm going to wind up sketching it, from looking at my reference later. This is to warm up, and this is to get myself to actually break it down and really look at the shapes and to get the muscle memory. You're going to be arting along with me. Yay! Sewing. Excellent. So yeah, I'm going to start observing and I'm going to start breaking this down into compositional shapes. Already I can see that the piece of art is divided. Let me grab a straight tool. It's divided neatly down the middle, composition-wise. Let me get that right here with this tree. He's divided it down the middle, and then he's divided it up here. Whoop. Good enough. And then we can also actually divide this quite comfortably in thirds as well. But like the focus of this half is the road here, and the focus on this half is the shrine. But you can actually also comfortably divide this into thirds. So he has followed the rule of thirds here. Because if I go here, there, and like here, yeah, I'm starting to kind of understand the composition more. It is divided into thirds. So let's get in to learning the shapes. Got the road. And my lines are going to be kind of wonky because I do not have my art glove because I have once again lost it. What else is new? But yeah, we're just going to start learning these shapes. And I'm not going to be painting over this. This is just so I learn via muscle memory. And I'm forced to actually break this down and learn. Because, yeah, I need to practice more. So, and I may make some bad art today, but, that's another thing I'm trying to learn to be okay with. I'm very fussy. So down we go. And I do also want to pay attention to negative space shapes as well. And probably when I go in on my actual sketch in like 5 minutes, I will start using my straight edge tool for some of these. I don't want to use it for the trees later because those are meant to be natural shapes, but I probably will use it for like the shrine here. But the thing is, I love learning from artists whom I respect. I think it's very helpful when there's something that you don't know how to do and maybe you don't have a defined voice in yet. Like, I have a pretty defined voice when it comes to character design and drawing people, but I don't really have a defined voice in landscapes yet. Again, because it's something that I don't do. And so I think it's helpful. There's a lot of talk about how to find your style. I think it's something a lot of artists and a lot of writers are really conscious about. Like, oh my lord, my lines are terrible today. I'm gonna use my straight edge tool. There we go. Are really conscious about, and I think honestly one of the best ways to find your style is to go find pieces of art and maybe whole artists that you go, I really like that. I really enjoy looking at that. That's very pleasant. There's something about this that really speaks to me. And then just try to break down why you like it. And then work on emulating it. It's something that we do in art school, is studies of masters. But the purpose of that is so that you can learn how and why they do what they do. Which is why I'm tracing to start with as my warm-up. I'm trying to figure out how he has constructed this to start out with. And maybe why he's placed the lines where he's placed them and the shapes where he's placed them. Something I'm already noticing is that this landscape is actually, in terms of, I don't know, there's something that I really admire about the way that Miyazaki draws trees, especially, and leaves on trees. And I'm realizing as I'm actually observing and looking at this, that it's a lot simpler than I thought it was. It's complex because he's layered so many different colors and values on top of each other, but the actual shapes are very simple. And he's actually doing a similar thing to what Bob Ross did, where he layers, like, see back here, he's got a dark color, and then he's layering on a lighter color and a lighter color. This is more of a mid-tone and lighter colors. And also we are moving, I'm observing the colors that he's using here. Let me grab that green. Where can I put this? He's starting, right, this is a very, like, we're close to the blue spectrum over here. But because the light is yellow, as we're getting closer to like a brighter tone, see how it moved on the color wheel? And then over here, this is going to be very yellow. The green is getting yellower. It's getting warmer on the color wheel. So that's something that I'm observing. Summer solstice, hello! Only be able to stay till like 5:50 because I've got an event to get to, but glad to be here. I'm glad you're here too! Ooh, you're seam ripping a sleeve because you did it backwards. I think you were seam ripping the last time that we were doing stream, too. So anyway, back to my like neon blue. But, so I'm not only going to be quickly tracing the outline of the trees, but I'm also going to try to pay attention. Because this is another thing that I admire with Miyazaki, but I don't fully understand, is the way that he constructs tree crowns and bushes. The shapes to me are very pleasant to look at, but I don't understand how they work. Because when I try to replicate them, I never enjoy how they look. I don't like it. But it's kind of like a puzzle piece. And they're always very round. So I'm just going through here and outlining so that when I'm looking at this, at my reference, when I'm actually doing this study, I'm not having to try so hard to really accurately see the shapes I'm trying to replicate. And also the muscle memory, too. That's the other thing. But this is the same process that I use when I'm doing face studies. I do a couple traces of my face claim or the actor or whatever of their face first before I even attempt to figure out a design for them in my own style, so that I get the muscle memory of the shapes of their face and I can be more accurate. And then I go in separately and do it freehand by observing. And it's just a good way to force yourself, and see, I wasn't accurate there, to force yourself to actually see what you're looking at, which is half the art battle. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm just fascinated with the way that he constructs landscapes and the emotion that Miyazaki landscapes evoke. And if I bump my mic, I'm sorry. I've been bumping it all day. I think it's something about the way that I lean. I'm trying to be more mindful of that, but it's been an issue I've been having today. I was seam ripping skirt roars that time. In my defense, this fabric is the same on right and wrong side, so I made... You know what? If it's the same on right and wrong sides, that's valid. I would make that mistake too. So, yeah. So yeah, it really seems like he is layering dark to light, which is odd to me because I feel like, and now I want to do more research on the medium he uses, but his paintings are often described as watercolor, and in watercolor you layer, well, you do layer. No, yeah, you layer light to dark. It's opposite. Because of the paper and the fact that watercolor is very translucent. So I wonder if... Well, I don't know actually how much he does traditionally versus digitally, and I don't know how much is done maybe with gouache. Because with gouache you can work. That's part of why I like it so much. You can work dark to light as well. It's better generally if you treat it like watercolor and you work light to dark, but all right. The other struggle I'm going to have here is going to be finding the right brushes digitally to do what I want them to do. Okay. Getting there. Got a few more pieces I want to trace before we move on to doing this freehand. But it was helpful to just sit and observe and break down the composition to start with. And figure out, like, what I'm actually looking at. Because composition is another one of those things that I think is a weak point for me. I often forget to do it. And I always like my pieces better, obviously, when I actually take the time to compose them first before I start laying down paint and stuff. But I just forget. And then it's often something that I'm having to go back and correct, which is a bad habit because that's something, of course, that you can do digitally, but you can't do. You have to plan more when you're working traditionally. So, yeah, and it seems once again here he's layered, dark to light. And the light is coming this way. And it is very warm and yellow toned. It's interesting. I'm curious what color this is. Because normally when I do like shadows versus light outside, like that dappled lighting, I use blue. But he is using green. So this whole painting is like greens and yellows. And like a little bit of blue, but not a lot. That blue is very close to the green spectrum. Okay, I'm not going to bother tracing the foliage, I don't think. That's something that I think I can do freehand without needing to trace it. But, okay, so now I'm going to use this as my reference. I'm going to pull it over. Once again, I'm not tracing to paint over. I'm not doing that. I am tracing to force myself to actually look at what I'm looking at. All right. So let's start constructing. So I think what I'm going to do is, instead of thirds, I am going to use that, because this screen cap is very obviously divided into like a cross section of like 4 parts. So I'm just going to do that instead of bothering with rule of thirds. I think I want to bring that down. Some more like that. Yeah. The Cimmerillion, but it's a Miyazaki movie, would fix me, actually. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about, if you've seen The Dragon Prince, every time I watch The Dragon Prince, I'm like, this is exactly the style that I want a Cimmerillion show in. I don't want a live-action Cimmerillion show. I want an animated Cimmerillion show in the style of The Dragon Prince. It would hit so good. Which I may actually do a study of The Dragon Prince in another stream. That might be a good thing to do. Yeah, this has so many textures in it. Brushes must be a tough choice. Yeah, and I struggle, like, I'm not sure that I have brushes that I'm very happy with when it comes to doing, like, portraits and people and skin textures and stuff, but I feel like I'm not happy with the brushes that I have yet for landscapes, like, digitally. But that also, you know, is probably actually just the fault, like, user error. Because, again, I'm not good with landscapes. Because it's something I just don't practice. Alright. So I'm just going to use that as my composition guide, and then I'm going to actually go in and sketch on a different layer. So let's do this. I think I'm going to start with this tree over here, because I can pretty easily see how that's placed on the page. But yeah, as I've said, I'm fully prepared that I may make some bad art today. Hopefully not. But entirely possible. Let's see. And mostly with these trees, I have a tendency to just kind of do whatever the hell I want with trees. So I'm trying really hard to not do that and to look at the negative space here, which I'm, for some reason, really struggling with today. I'm gonna go over and trace the shape again. Okay. Sure. It's not perfect, but I'm gonna go with it. I watched Percy Jackson this past week. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. Because I didn't enjoy the books. I read them when they came out when I was in like high school, I think. Or rather, when I say I read them, I tried reading them. I had the same problem that I had with the Hunger Games series, where I disliked the writing style so much. And what do I want to say? I disliked being in Percy's head. Probably because he was a 12-year-old boy. So it just wasn't my thing. And I did not have... I feel like all of my mutuals were kind of met on it. Like they were... I think probably because they read the books, and I think it's not a perfect adaptation. Because when is something ever a perfect adaptation? I'm spending way too much time on this tree. Oh my god. Y'all. Why am I spending so much time on this? Holy cow. I think I'm getting canvas anxiety. Which, again, I don't often get, but landscapes give me canvas anxiety like nothing else. I don't normally struggle this much with trees. But, yeah, Percy Jackson. Really enjoyed it. It was surprisingly good, surprisingly heartfelt. With just the friendship aspect and everything. I just really wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. Okay. I'm giving up. I'm trying to just chill out with this tree. And stop thinking about it so hard. Because I would like to get to a painting stage today. And we only have 2 hours. And I've already been gabbing for almost half an hour. Ooh, everybody's sewing today. Yeah, Percy Jackson. Again, yeah, I think it was just the friendship aspect for me that made it so good. And I really loved what they did with Medusa. I cannot, for the life of me, remember what Rick Riordan did with Medusa in the books. I felt like it was different than my recollection. But again, I read the books a very long time ago and I never finished them. But I loved her. And I loved that she was an antagonist, but she wasn't evil, and the story was handled very sensitively. And Medusa is a story that is very close to my heart because it is a story that I am working on an adaptation for, that I've been working on for years. And I interpret it very differently than how Rick Riordan interprets it. But yeah, I really enjoyed what they did with her, especially. And Ares was such good fun. And again, like, perfect casting, and every single actor that was in that show put their entire Ussie into their roles. I was very impressed. Even the side characters. Like, the actress that was responsible for portraying Echidna, and the pure, like, menace that she radiated while still being an absolute Karen. It was amazing. So I loved that. All right, I'm gonna give up on this tree and I'm gonna move on. Let's get some of this road in here. I'm gonna go up a bit for the slope. And then we've got this tree, which bisects the whole composition. But yeah, I don't know what it is. There's something just so pleasing about the way that he does landscapes that I would love to emulate in my own work. Okay. And I'm gonna get this road in because that's gonna kind of tell me where I need to place that second big tree. I'm not being 100% accurate here, but I've decided to tell myself that's okay. Accuracy is part of the exercise, but it's not the whole thing. Okay, and then we've got another tree coming up like here-ish. Another branch back there. And then we've got another tree here. Trying to chill out and just get into like a zen. Stop freaking out so much about the empty canvas. Okay. Yeah. Love the Percy Jackson Olympian books as a kid, but couldn't get through the last. I don't know what that... Hero of Olympus? That's what it is. I feel like some of the characters got kind of written weird by the end, and now looking back, I have some more complicated feelings about it. Interesting. Yeah. I only read the first series of Percy Jackson Olympians and liked it when I first read them. But then the old, I'm now older than the main character, and now I don't like it anymore because I no longer respect their bad choices syndrome hit. Yeah, that's so real. That's so real. I increasingly kind of dislike how they portrayed some of the gods. Yeah, and that was the issue that I had with it also originally. But I wasn't sure how much of that was just me being, like, stupid, because I was very much into my study of Greek mythology, and I didn't know if I was just being, like, elitist about it. Yeah, I did love... I think my favorite was Ares, in the TV show, at least. He was just so fun. I have issues with what was done with Poseidon. And I know it's kind of necessary. I don't know. I feel like I know... What am I trying to say? I know it was necessary for the fact that he's like Percy's dad. And for the story that Rick Riordan was trying to tell, he needed to not be a complete scumbag. But like, in my head, from everything that we know about Poseidon, he's an absolute scumbag. So... That was my main issue, and that's just coming from somebody who's mostly only seen the show. I love the casting for Kidna. It was fucking perfect. Ares was so much fun, and Lin-Manuel. Yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda! Both me and my roommate were yelling. We were like, is that Lin-Manuel Miranda? Like, we were losing it. I was a massive Percy Jackson Olympians fan. It was one of my first fandoms, and I've read all except the later one. Whenever I don't like something, it's pretty much because I'm older and these books aren't aimed towards me. I went off them at 16 until the pandemic hit, and I reread them because I needed comfort, and I fell headfirst into them. The series after Heroes of Olympus is way better. Interesting. Yeah. Also, Hades. Can authors please stop making Hades kind of Satan? Yeah, and I loved... In the show, he felt very... I don't know if anybody here has seen Succession. In the show, their Hades felt very much like Roman Roy energy, and that gave me a good chuckle. It was not an interpretation of Hades that I've ever, like, that I think in my interpretation of him I would agree with necessarily, but it was very fun to have him be kind of Roman Roy-esque. But I've always kind of considered Hades to be the most responsible sibling, over, like, Zeus and Poseidon. He's still trash, don't get me wrong, but I'm very much biased towards being a Hades stan. He just has a lot of paperwork to do, that's it. I will say my one complaint with the portrayal of the underworld is not enough gems. Because Hades is the god of gemstones. And I was really hoping to see some more gemstones. Okay. We're getting there with the trees being more locked in now. Again, this one on the side isn't perfect, but we're gonna go with it. I'm trying not to freak out too much about it. I think I just don't like this branch right here, which is why I'm trying to adjust it. A little bit more, but I can also adjust it more when I'm actually painting. So, again, the goal here is we're trying to get to actually painting today. So, and I'm gonna just rough in kind of the shape of some of this foliage because most of that detail is just gonna come in the painting aspect. So I'm just throwing myself in some rough guidelines. Got more grass here, and the rest of this is just leaves. Okay. Got this tree here. We've got sort of this shape that comes down. And then we've got this other big tree back here. Looks like, I'm gonna zoom in real quick. What is up here? More leaves. Okay. It looks like another tree. But mostly leaves. And then that's another, I forget what those are called. The structure of the shrine. I'm trying to remember. I can't now off the top of my head. Okay. And for sketching purposes, I think I may wind up using... Well, no, it's fine. I was thinking I might wind up using my straight edge tool for the steps, but they're not straight. Much like me. So, I don't think I'm going to bother fretting about that. Very old and worn. That's the other thing I struggle with that I also really admire in his work is the textures that he manages to have. That I just don't know how to replicate. Like, I'm not... And part of it may be my brushes, but I think the vast majority of it is just user error. I'm not great with it. With making, you know, fabric look distinct from skin and making stone look distinct from bark, etc. It's just not a skill that I have learned very well. Okay, let's get this little creature in. Trying to make sure that I stay along those composition lines as best that I can. And I can already tell I have them in the wrong spot because there's so much more space here than I have here. So I think I just need to make him smaller maybe. So we're gonna grab this whole thing and just shrinky. And maybe move him this way a bit. Yeah. Second there I thought I was drawing on the wrong layer. I'm not. Thank God. So... And I also need to move some other things over. I'm looking more at the space between things now and going, that's not correct. Come on. Drag the... Goodness, what is going on here? Ah, that's what's going on there. Move that this way. I'm gonna move this. I don't really want to move it. I might just make it skinnier. Because if I move it, it's gonna alter the composition. Okay. And that looks maybe a bit more accurate to what we have in the original screen cap. Also, the implications that World War II is the sons of Poseidon and Zeus versus the sons of Hades is maybe concerning a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. That was wild. That was wild. If anyone is interested in kids' Greek myth stuff that's got a different Hades, there's Mythomania series where Hades is the main character. It's very silly though. Okay, but Greek mythology is silly, so I feel like that's more accurate. I'm gonna look that up. That sounds lovely. Oh man. Totally agree. My reaction as a teen was basically, okay, no, throwing that away. Yeah. Yeah, and the worst part is how he doubles down on that in Heroes of Olympus. It's weird. Yeah, there's some weird things. That is kind of meh. Alright, let's get in. Let's move this that way. We go up to maybe here. And then this, the other side of it needs to be here-ish. And then we've got this sort of line. I've definitely got some things in the wrong spot. But, well. We're gonna go with it. Except I am gonna move all of this down just a titch. There. That's better. Okay. Get that in there. And I'm going to adjust how this bush is coming down. There. It's a bit better. Okay. Got one more little... I gotta move this tree too. Oh my goodness. Pull that over this way. There we go. Now we have room for some of this other stuff in here. So we'll add in that second crossbeam and then this little bit of bush, negative space. Okay. Zoom back out. And the last thing is I'm just going to get the hint of the wagon wheel tracks or the car tracks. I'm not actually sure. And then a little bit of these shadows. Just sketch them in real quick. Oh yeah, and I forgot, there's like this water pool that does start actually where I've drawn it. Sweet. Okay. Let's get to starting to add some color in this. Okay, I'm redoing the sleeve so it can be a right sleeve. All right. Harmony, I forgot to ask, have you read the latest Boundless Sky chapter yet? Was fully expecting you to scream at me for that. The cliffhanger was very mean. But I was so excited to share that chapter. All right, I am gonna start color picking because again, I'm also trying to learn what he's doing here with color. So I think I'm gonna start with the roads kind of base tan here. I go in just with my usual gouache brush and layer that in. Whoops. I wanted to go under my sketch. There we go. We're gonna get all of that in there. And it looks like it's basically the same color. Let's see what this is. Yeah, that is just dead ass green. My eyeballs are playing tricks on me and saying that's not the color that is, but it absolutely is. And that's why we color pick when I'm doing color studies. I'm gonna lower the opacity though, I think. Just a touch. Chunkier brush. Like I said, I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to apply the same process that I use when I do studies of faces. And we'll see if I like it in the end. That chapter broke me. Oh, evil writer chuckling noises, but for real though. It was a very masochistically fun chapter to write. But oh man. It's just fun because that chapter is literally the catalyst and the setup for the entire next part of the Lionel's plot and his arc. And so it was just so satisfying to finally get it out there for you guys. Because that's what's going to catapult us into the next section for him. Because there's so much going on now, and so much that's going to start happening in his chapters. I'm being very vague, but I'm very excited for what we're going to be getting into here with him. Because it wasn't... I was struggling with where I wanted him to be for the next portion. And I knew that I needed to break down his relationship with Elrian before we could get any farther. And I couldn't figure out how to do it in a way that didn't feel unnatural or didn't feel untrue to their characters. Like, it needed to be drastic enough that it would actually happen. And they trust each other so much. So I was trying to figure out how to break down that trust. And finally got there. So... okay. I'm gonna pull in... start maybe defining some of these hills as separate from the road now. And I also want to pull in a warmer green and a brighter green at the edge of the shadow. for the subscatter. And then what color is this? Something around there, okay. That's what I thought. Okay. But yeah, like that chapter was very mean of me. But it was so much fun to post. Okay. Getting there. I'm gonna start layering, I think, more of this blue, dark green. I'm gonna pull it a bit more towards blue and start just going over into the background here. Into some of this foliage back here. Where's CPS, Character Protective Services, when you need them? Oh, for real though, I'm being very mean to Elrond too, in Partake. I'm just mean to my characters all the time, man. I'm having a lot of fun right now writing chapter, what are we on, 42 of Partake? With the conversation that I'm having to put Elrond and Gil-galad through. Because I swear to God, I have never written a more emotionally incompetent character than Gil-galad. It's actually a challenge for me because most of my characters, I'm very much guilty of the characters have therapy speak thing. I'm very much guilty of that, I must admit. So it's a challenge, legitimately. For me to write a character who is just so bad at communicating. Outrageously bad at communicating. And outrageously bad at interpreting why. Like, having empathy and interpreting why somebody else might be behaving the way that they're behaving. It's so much fun. It's a fun challenge. But I'm shaking him. Like a dog with a chew toy. Just begging him to get a grip. Okay, getting in some of this lighter green back here. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to learn as much about the textures today. I might need to look up a tutorial for that later. But I'm at least going to try to focus on getting in and learning how he does the shapes that he does. Because I do love these shapes. But we'll see. Who knows? Maybe we'll make it. Trying to get in some of that texture, maybe. Okay. And then we've got more of that, like, yellow. This might be too light. More of that. Yeah, that's too light. What color is this? I want to say it's yellow-green, but nope. That's why we color pick in studies. Or at least that's why I color pick in studies. Because I never know what color things are just by looking at them. I think also with the texture I may just have to zoom in and really look closely at it. But he is layering though a lot. Because it looks like he's on these steps, he's layering green over a gray, maybe? So we'll see. We'll try some things out. I'm trying to play and be chill about it. And shut off the part of my brain that's screaming it looks bad. That's half the battle with art. It's just to be positive. Gotta head out. All right. Bye, Summer Solstice. Thank you for joining. Okay. I think I want to take this gray for the statue. Yeah. It seems like with Miyazaki, the trick with his style of landscapes that I'm seeing here is honestly the same as the Bob Ross thing, which is just layering, and maybe I need to learn how to layer better. So let's see, let's zoom in. Yeah, for sure. Looks like we're layering dark and then light. So I'm going to color pick that darkest color, and then we'll work our way up. Wait, let's see here. So the dark color looks like it's behind the trees, if that makes sense. And then the lighter colors are layered over the tree trunks. So we're going to go in with a dark color, and then we'll go in and do the tree trunks, and then I'll start layering in the lighter colors. Right. And my hope is the more that I do these and learn, hopefully I'll begin to develop my own style and my own voice with the landscapes. Because I know it's something that really holds me back as an artist. Because there are things that I want to do that I just don't do because I know that I don't know how to do them. Like, there's a lot of, especially like Rivendell paintings that I want to do because I have a very specific idea of what it looks like in my brain, and it does not look like Peter Jackson's Rivendell. And I want to do paintings of it and make it come alive in my head, and I just don't have that skill. And like there's concept art that I would like to do of my own science fiction settings that I have for the series that I'm working on, so that I can get it out of my head and so that my writing partner can see it. And again, that's not a skill that I have. So just trying to nurture new skills. Okay. Looks like I need some more of that yellow over here. And it stretches your brain. It's healthy for your brain to learn new things. Okay. Now I'm going to go in and do some of these tree trunks. And I think I'm going to work dark to light again for them. So we're going to color pick that darkest color just so I can accurately see what it is. Really? It's the same color? Okay. Alright, Miyazaki. It's almost like he's gone over the entire, like this is his background, like a backwash. Background wash. That he's overlaid the entire canvas in, and then he's, this green color, and then he's painted over it. Because I would assume that the, like if we're going to talk in terms of a background color, that it would be this yellow. But it seems almost like it's not. Or maybe he's layered this green over that yellow? Interesting. Learning new things as we go. Trying to dissect his process here. I also need this color down here. I almost want to pull it even darker down there. Okay. Ooh, Rivendell, yeah. There's just so many paintings that I want to do, and then I am held back by my own skill level. So, that's why we do this stuff. Because I really would like to get better at it. Okay. So now, let's go in and darken up some of these darks. And pull them more towards blue, like we were saying. And I think I want maybe more of a textured brush. I might try out one of my like chalk square painting brushes for this. And I'm gonna try not to think too hard about it, because I know that part of painting trees and getting it to look natural is just going with the flow. Yeah, we're probably gonna have to layer more on top of this. Some more highlights and stuff. I don't know if you can hear my cat meowing in the background. She is really going at it. Really yelling her little head off. Which I don't know what for. Oh, she's got her toy in her mouth. She wants to play. Well, she's gonna have to wait. We got her an automatic toy because she's really in her, like, terrible teens right now, where all she wants to do is just play and play and play and play and play. And we don't have the energy to keep up with her. So we had to replace and get a new automatic toy. Just to keep her occupied and to help all of us stay sane. All of this, including the other cats, because she starts to jump on and bully the other cats if she's not getting enough playtime. And my other cats are getting to be adultsier adults, especially Malka, like she's getting to be in her cat 30s. And she just does not have the patience to be dealing with a little teenager like that. So, for everybody's sanity. We got her an automatic toy to help take some of that pressure off. Do some blending here. I think I'm somewhat happy with how that is looking. I need to come in and get some of these yellow highlights. I'm gonna probably just color pick from this rogue color and use that to get some of these highlights in. My roommate got her cat a bird feeder out on the porch so Kitty can watch the birds. That's a great idea. I need to do that for our cats. I've been wanting to get back into gardening in general and, like, get more things out on the porch. It's just unfortunately been such a low priority with everything else going on, but things are starting to even out, so maybe I'll get into that soon. Starting to add more detail into this tree. Some of that texture and dappled light. I'm gonna blend that in, that's a bit too intense. There we go. Yeah, I don't think I'm managing to capture the texture as well as I'd like, but live and you learn. This is the first one I'm doing. I'm trying to remind myself that I really don't try to do backgrounds often, so I need to be gentle with myself. All right. Other backgrounds that I love and I would love to study are the ones that are in, like, the old Disney movies, especially like Jungle Book and stuff. I remember as a kid being fascinated with the art in Jungle Book especially, and wanting to paint like that. So it would be something worth pulling up stills of and maybe practicing. All right, let's get in this dark color. I think I want to go even darker and bluer than that. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I'm learning there are a lot of commonalities between Bob Ross and Miyazaki, which is fun. Don't know that I expected that, but it makes sense. Go even darker on some of these areas. Yeah. That was one thing I learned that was very helpful from my life drawing class, was just to darken up your darks and lighten up your lights if you're not sure about something and you're not sure how it's looking. Always good advice. Okay, I'm gonna go in. But I'm happy with the progress that we're making today. I feel like I'm being good about not being too fussy. Which, as you guys know, when you watch my streams, it's something I really struggle with. The 2-hour time limit is nice. I was thinking I want to get better about actually maybe finishing art pieces on stream. Again, just as a practice habit to avoid getting too fussy. I'm going to erase this part of my sketch and move it. There we go. Because I want that specific branch to be more like here, I think. Maybe. Maybe even higher than that, though. Let's do this here, and then think about, yeah, maybe there. Okay. Alright. Let's see, are there any other... I gotta do this one, which obviously haven't gone into the details of these other trunks yet, but I'm gonna kind of wait until I'm getting leaves on to do that. So we're gonna go darker, maybe grayer a bit, and get like less saturated, and get this up here. The way the color kind of fades down. Starting to get over my initial canvas paralysis here, which is nice. I feel like I'm starting to get more into like a Zen mode the longer stream goes on. I still remember when me and my roommate did on our other channel, we did the, like, what was it, 100 faces in 1 hour stream that wound up being so long. It's like 6 hours. But we had really reached a state of lizard calm by the end of that stream. The kind of Zen that I aspire to on a daily basis, we were so deep in it. It was a good time. I rarely ever in my life reach that kind of sense of lizard calm. But something about like having to pay such close attention to the spatial aspect of drawing faces for so long, it really gets you there. I was reading something about how sometimes driving can work as a form of meditation for people. Like, it puts your brain in that headspace because you're having to pay attention so much to like spatially things. Which really kind of explains why art works so well for some people. This is the same sort of thing of getting into just paying attention to shapes purely and space, rather than thinking too hard about any one thing. And then he's got like round shapes that he's painted onto the trees. It's kind of like the texture of the bark, but also maybe some lichen. So really pleasing to look at. And also possibly just the dappled light of the coming in from the branches and the leaves overhead. But I'm gonna try to mimic that a little bit. Blend some of that out. Soften it up. Yeah. Yeah! Still want to darken up some of these darks. Okay. I think I'm getting close to being ready to start doing foliage. Just a good feeling. I'm probably gonna do... Oh my goodness, I forgot an entire tree trunk back here. And this one is very blue. Let's get that guy in there. Okay, good enough for now. Kind of blotchy, but we can clean it up later. Alright. Foliage. You finished the sleeves and the underarm gussets. Yes, we are both making progress. Now to deal with the main panels and neckline. Ooh, you should go write some stuff. I would love that. Please do. Alright, foliage. So, let's see. I think I'm gonna go into this area back here and start with maybe like this mid-tone green. And start placing that down. I'm trying to decide what brush I want to do though. Because he has some like actual, I don't think that's gonna work. He has some, well, maybe that'll work. It's not like the leaves are just blotchy and formless. Like he's gotten a very distinct leaf shape in there and some of the edges. But I'm wondering if digitally I can maybe blotch in the color and then go in and do more detail that way. If that's maybe a good process. But picking the right brush here is going to be important. Oh my goodness, I'm bumping my mic. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna move that mug. I keep bumping it on there. There we go. Ooh, maybe that one. Let's try that. Yeah. See, so we're here. I'm gonna start adding in. Yeah, I think this was a good choice. Start adding in some of that texture. And then we can go in with like the yellows and stuff and be a bit more precise. It does have a slightly more saturated bluey green in some of these areas, so I'm going to try to add that in too. The thing I try to remind myself with trees is sometimes it's all about the illusion of the shape rather than the actual shape itself. Let's see, let's grab... Yeah, there we go. Bit more color picking. It's a quieter stream, probably because I'm concentrating so hard. Thank you for bearing with me. Yeah, I think I'm going to use a different brush to do some of these lighter leaves, just so I can be more precise. But we're getting there. Okay, let's do some of this more bluey color. We've got some here. I'm gonna have to go and clean up the trunks. Whole bunch. Okay. Trying to see where else I'm seeing this more bluey, teal, green. Okay. That's enough, I think, for the base of the leaves on that side. I'm gonna add a bit more of that blue here, maybe? But we actually need to bring it down a bit. Yeah. And then we'll move back over here for some of these. And we've got some suggestion of leaf here, which I will have to go in and clean up and define. But I'm getting it in kind of in a sketchy way first. Okay. And then we've got this bushy area down here, which actually is more of that like minty color. Minty teal. And I think the same here. Yep. I feel like with Miyazaki, it seems to be all about the illusion of texture, rather than really going into a whole lot of detail. The more that I'm looking at this. Like, my actual painting, I'm not at all happy with how it looks, but I feel like I'm learning a lot just by how much it's forcing me to actually look at my reference. Okay. And It's actually a lot of detail in the road. I think I'll wind up using a different brush for the road and the rocks. So we're gonna move back over to this side of the painting and work on this foliage over here. Or at least the under depth of the, does that make any sense? The under depth of the foliage. These darker colors. I'm gonna work on that, and then we'll go in with another brush to be more precise. Okay. Now I think we're getting to the space where I am ready to start getting quite precise with things. Which is good. This is more progress in terms of like, I'm further along in this piece of art than I've normally am in a stream. So this is good. I'm gonna get some more, like now I'm just avoiding starting to add texture to things, but I'm noticing other places I can maybe add more darks in the actual background. Okay. I'm gonna start adding detail to the foliage, and then we will work on cleaning up shapes and the road. But we're getting there. Sewing symmetrical stuff can be hard, see my sleeve problems, but it's also great because I can just decide whichever side turns out better is the front. Smart. Actually, I think before I do detail work, I'm gonna get in this more redder color into the painting. I'm gonna swap back to my gouache brush. And just get rid of this last little bit of like canvas that's left. I'm just now noticing I have a mistake here that I need to correct. Oops. So we'll go in here. Just get rid of that. There. And back to the gouache brush. Cool. And again, I'm gonna have to go in and like define all these shapes more with like a very thin, dark pen probably, but just trying to get the basics in. Okay, and then the one that's behind it is very dark. It's almost black. The one back here. There. And I am going to try to get some of the shading on the statue before I forget. Have I been painting on the wrong layer? I have. I've been painting on my sketch layer. Oh well. We're here now. There's no going back from that. That's fine. All right. Texture time. Texture in detail. I'm gonna start another layer for that. And let's pick, let's see what brush. I think I'm gonna go back to either my square painting brush or like this slightly firmer textury brush for that. I think that'll work better. All right. I think I'm gonna do this portion last and just get into these trees here. Zoom in. All right. Let's do this. Slightly stressed about this prospect, but it's gonna be fine. Saying that aggressively to myself, it will be fine. It does not have to be perfect. Actually, I do. I think I want an even more precise brush than that. Let's go back to the sky. Yeah. Okay. We're just going to start to sort of define some of these edges here. Okay. I think I'm gonna try to go more for the spirit of the thing than to be accurate. And kind of pay more attention to how he constructs his shapes. Because that's another thing which I really don't understand, is how to construct shapes. So, I'm going to be working on that with this. Swing out every so often, see if I like it. Move back in. Yeah, we're getting there. Yeah. Making sure I get some interest into the actual background too, so it's not just like a flat color. Trying to reach a state of lizard calm. I'm liking this. So I'm noticing these like lines that he's put in to sort of separate maybe where the crowns aren't touching. and I'm trying to add those in. And again, I can't be fully accurate because I haven't been to exactly where he's placing those, but I'm trying to think more along the lines of like, where would those be on my painting? And I'm liking how it's looking. It's like really helping define the shape of the tree and the bush. Yeah. Yeah. And still color picking, because I'm still trying to understand how he does color. But yeah, I think especially with these nature landscapes, it's a bit different maybe with architecture, and I'm gonna try to get into doing architecture and interiors too eventually. But at least from what I'm learning between the Bob Ross tutorial that we did and now this this Miyazaki study is really about like layers upon layers upon layers, and then also like the illusion of texture rather than trying too hard with the texture, I think, if that makes any sort of sense. And then I think also, like, how do I phrase this? Like, trying not to panic when things don't look immediately the way that you want them to. Because I think that's my other tendency with especially landscapes, is I start to panic when I lose definition in parts. And I, for some reason, just forget that it's completely valid to go back in and redefine shapes after you've done some other layering. Because both Bob Ross, like, that was something that Bob Ross did, and that's something that I'm seeing that I'm having to do with the Miyazaki study, is I'm going in and redefining certain things after adding texture. Let's see. I feel like I'm not happy with the rounding on this branch, but I'm trying not to overdo it. Let's get in more of the texture up here. I'm gonna zoom out a bit on the reference. Yeah, there we go. Bring that yellow into some other places here. Because the yellow is really like the foreground on these branches. And I'm gonna blend some of this out. Zoom out on my own. Take stock of what I like and what I don't like. Definitely seeing some things that I don't like. I'm gonna go back and redefine those shapes. I definitely need to get more texture in on this specific branch. More people popping in. Hello. It's been a quiet stream, actually. Mostly because I'm concentrating so hard on trying to get this to look the way that I want it to. We've just been vibing. I'd like to get this to the point where I can remove my sketch layer and still be happy with it. I don't know if we'll get there today, but we'll see. I'm gonna bring, I think, more blue into the... Not that light, though. More blue into this tree in some areas. So it actually got a lot of blue in the bark. Looks like. Esper Lady, hi! I wish I could send photos to the stream because this neck seam is so nice. I wish that you could too. I would love to see it. Okay, what color is this? Is that tealish? Yeah, it is. I'm beginning to wonder, the more art that I do, if I'm like slightly colorblind. It's likely not. I know I'm a little bit colorblind when it comes to like purple and browns. But I think it's just an untrained eye problem than a color blindness problem. Okay. And what do we got going on here? Bringing in that yellow light where it's hitting the tree here. And really brightening things up. I thought about maybe doing like some landscape. What I originally wanted to do today was maybe something from Boy and the Heron. But I was like, this is really ambitious. All of the options I was finding, I was like, I don't think I can do that on stream. I think that's a longer project. Let's take that away, maybe. All right. Looks like we have some more light hitting this tree here. And maybe this tree here. And I need more leaf texture towards the bottom of the painting. So we're going to bring that lighter color in. There we go. And then maybe outline the road a bit more in like the darker color. Just to define it. Okay. How are we looking? I think we're starting to look pretty good. Yeah. Surprisingly enough, I'm not unhappy with this. Maybe I'm not making bad art. Maybe I need to be kinder to myself. All right, let's move over. Well, actually, wait, I think there's some more defining I could do down here. Story of my life is me noticing things that maybe don't need to be fixed, but we're going for it. All right. Yeah, let's move over to the other half of the painting. My cat has come to say hello. It's gotten to that part of the stream where she's like, "You've been streaming for too long. You're not paying attention to me." But I still got at least 20 minutes left in stream. Oh, thank you. I'm more confident when it's like I'm drawing people. I'm trying to learn to be more confident with landscapes. That's part of why we're here and why we're doing this. All right. Let's get, yeah, I'm moving over. I'm moving over to this half. Let's zoom out again so I can see this better. Moving over here. And then I'm gonna zoom in on my own. Because this is quite messy. Oops. It's too light. So I'm gonna define this tree back out. Now that we worked on adding texture to it. And then let's go in and start working on some of these leaves. I think I need a grayer, darker color. Yeah. Let's see, and we've got some texture coming up onto... I'm not sure if this is a tree or if this is another pole. Genuinely unsure. But either way, we're going to start adding some more texture to it. Looks like there's like some moss or lichen coming up the side here. So we're going to add that in. And also, I'm going to go in with a really dark color and kind of define the shape of it more. Yeah. And maybe a bit more highlight in some of these areas. Okay. Now let's start getting in some definition on these bushes down here. Lots of little tiny brush strokes in this part. But surprisingly, yeah, I'm not hating how this is turning out so far. I just get so nervous, I think, with the blank canvas and then me not being used to looking at landscape shapes and then not knowing how to break it down. And that just comes down to not practicing. So we just got to do this more often. I thought about doing a series maybe where it's like I do 30 days of just landscape practice. Because it's something I might actually be able to commit to now that I have my meds. Can actually commit to more things now. It's nice. Make some meaningful progress on stuff. But yeah, the illusion of texture is what I am learning here. It seems to be pretty important. Bring this color up just a bit. Get some bigger shapes back here. Because as we're getting away from our line of sight, it's gonna get less detailed. And we've got brush strokes that are going more diagonally than they are straight horizontally, which is giving us the impression of that hill slope. Yeah. I'm gonna get more of that like almost pink color in. I'm gonna color pick it from that pole because I'm noticing that there's some of it over here. Just in some areas. I say pink, it's more of a gray red. But we're gonna bring it into the tree. And then I'm gonna grab more of the yellow for over here. Zoom out again. Okay, I gotta blend that. Practice makes perfect, as they say. You're so right. And that's why we're here. And it's just nice to do it on stream in company, because I think it's just easier to sit down and make myself do it when it's something that I don't necessarily enjoy. When I have like some nice music going and it's on stream and I have the pressure, or I guess not the pressure, but the accountability of other people hanging out with me while I'm doing this. I think that makes me more likely to practice and to actually, I think it helps for me to talk out my process and keeps me mindful about what I am doing and why I am doing it. You know? Something about being on stream with people. Alright, I think yeah, when I'm done adding detail, I'm going to merge the layers and then blend where I want to blend it. But for right now, this is working just fine. I'll zoom back out. Yeah, getting there. There's still some more detail that could be added kind of in this area on these bushes. So I'm gonna do that. I got like a really dark color in. And we'll start looking at the steps. I'm kind of intimidated by the rock texture on the steps. I just don't know how to go about it yet, I think. Which is why I'm avoiding them. But we'll give it a go. We'll be brave. I say as I work on other stuff. Don't worry, we'll get there. We'll get there. Alright. So it looks like he's got this like gray-green. And we're going over the top of this, like where moss would be growing. We're going over the top of the step with this darker color. And then we might maybe take a blending tool and blend it down in some places. Yeah, I think that's working. And then there's also, it seems like, some of that redder color. Maybe from a lichen in some areas, or maybe it's just where the light is hitting. But I'm gonna pop some in. And then some areas where the light is definitely hitting in like a dappled sense. So we'll get that in there. And then I'm just going to take that color and naturally follow it around, and we'll do more blending out too. And we'll see if we can't get this to look like maybe some mossy rocks. Am I going to sign up for Tolkien Reverse Summer Bang? I think so. I think I might do it this year. It would be the first year that I've actually done it, and I think it would be good for me. I am very nervous about committing to any kind of deadline because of past experience with just then suddenly running out of spoons. And so I don't really have that self-efficacy. And I think it might be good for me to sign up for a deadline and then maybe see if I can hit it. And try to build up some of that self-efficacy and that self-trust back. And I think, you know, like a fandom space is a very low-stakes, safe way to do that. So yeah, I think I'm going to sign up for it. I'm excited. I might do it as both an artist and a writer. But I want to be cautious and sensitive to myself. The easiest thing for me to do would be to just sign up as an artist. Because I have a much easier time completing art pieces than I do if I have to fight through like writer's block. The reverse summer bang. I can't read. Tolkien Reverse Summer Bang. There we go. Mods are very understanding about people needing to drop out if they need to also. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, it's a very friendly event, so. Okay, and then we've got more of that, like, lighter red color. I'm gonna bring it warmer and do some of these. I think it's like fallen leaves is the impression that this is giving me. These shapes here. And then I kind of want to do more of like a light yellow. Let me zoom out. Yeah, I'm liking that. And then we've got also like a shadow here. Same situation here. Go over, we get that dark green back in. And it looks like we've got like a suggestion of some grass, maybe, right there. I'm gonna actually bring that even lighter. This shape here needs to be defined a bit more. Getting there. I only have one art idea too. Yeah. I have an art piece that I may just decide to make for Tolkien Reverse Summerbang. Because I have a reference photo that I have saved for well, there's this piece that I want to do of, I think I talked about it last stream. Oh my gosh, my cat. Of one of the brothers holding back Emrys at the burning of the ships. It's like this very emotionally charged piece, and I think that might be good writing fuel for someone else. So I'm thinking about maybe doing that. But I also kind of want to just like do some Celeron, but I don't have any direct ideas. So we'll see. We'll see what I come up with. I don't know if you can hear my cat. She sees a bird or a squirrel outside or something. Yeah, baby, you see something out there? You tell it. You tell it to go on and get. Oh, baby. Alright, and let's start defining the statue up a bit more. Let's see. I'm going to use my blender again. Oops, whoops. There we go. Sorry for all of the canvas zhuzhing. I'm just trying my best to see well what I'm looking at. I'm realizing I have like an entire something back there that I've not drawn in. So I'm gonna need to go in with this like red color again and get that in. Because there's like an entire thing back here that I just don't have in my drawing. There we go. Kind of fixing it, getting there. It's weird because it just kind of like disappears into the background, and I'm trying to make sense of like what I'm looking at right there. I'm not sure what's going on in that portion of the painting. Yeah, alright, good night, Jazz. It is getting late on the East Coast. We've been streaming a while. I should basically probably end stream soon. honestly. It's getting late. Not late, but it's getting to be no longer early evening here. I suggested High King Celebrity because I want to complete the set of girl High Kings. Good. Ooh, I should take a look at the suggestion spreadsheet. Thank you. I should absolutely. I keep forgetting that's like a thing. Alright, I'm gonna grab this yellowish color. Yellowy green, and bring that up here. I'm trying not to fuss too much for the statue because I know that once I zoom out, it's not gonna, like, the amount of detail I'm trying to put into it really won't matter so much. Alright. I still have textural work to do on the steps. Too. Here. And we get more of that red color in. And then do some more blending it out. Yeah, not perfect, but I'm definitely not hating it. I know I keep saying that. But I think that's what I said with the Bob Ross one, too. I just keep being surprised when I turn out a piece of... Sorry, I keep bumping my mic. Oh my god, I need to stop doing that. I keep getting surprised when I turn out a piece of landscape work that I feel good about. Okay, yeah. Blend this out a little bit over there. Definitely still have more work to do on this tree in terms of defining shapes. Okay. Goodness. All right, we've been streaming for 2 hours. We have hit the 2-hour mark. Good night, Esper Lady. It was so good to have you here. I've really just been kind of getting into Lizard Calm with this. I finally achieved it, of course, right when we reached the 2-hour mark. But, yeah. So, it's definitely nowhere near done. But this is what we're looking at right now. And we've made such significant progress, and I feel like I've already learned some cool things. So I'm learning about ways to layer texture from this. I'm learning about how Miyazaki seems to work from dark to light, which is kind of interesting. Like it's weird considering that it's like it seems to be watercolor. But anyway, Miyazaki working dark to light, learning that it's okay if it starts to look a little wonky halfway through. I can always go back and redefine shapes, to really think about composition and where the light is hitting. Ideas about when you're outdoors with those greens, that they move when they're darker, they're bluer, and then as the sunlight is hitting them, they're getting yellower, of course. So moving the color wheel around rather than using just static values of one green when working with it, if that makes sense. So yeah, I've learned a lot working on this already, so I'm really excited. I'll keep working on it. I will post a progress update on Tumblr. But yeah, thank you to everybody who hung out and chatted. This was a really quiet stream. I was concentrating really hard, so it's hard to talk and like really think about what I'm painting at the same time. But yeah, thank you to everybody who contributed, who hung out. I will be doing a gaming stream on Wednesday. It may not be Project Zomboid. I might be switching it up a little bit. We'll see. And then I'll do another art stream next Friday. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend, that you do something fun, that you take good care of yourself. My cat is walking all over my keyboard right now. I'll see you guys later. Bye!